streaming. Hopefully. Are we? Actually, dang it. One thing I forget the moment I hit the button. One moment. You remember everything, and you forget to change your glasses. Yes, hello and welcome to what is, well, supposed to be Chill Stream Friday. Although, this isn't going to be the continuation of Clannad, because, as I said earlier on this week, the VOD for Clannad got hit by a Content ID claim on YouTube. So, Clannad is now a Twitch exclusive, since Twitch didn't end up, there, that's better. Since Twitch didn't end up muting the VOD. So, as it says in the category, today's game is going to be something different. And, well, of course, it's going to be another visual novel, but... And... Right, we pause that, and let's go over the... Oh, yes! Thank you very much. Although, I do have desktop audio switched off, so we are not actually hearing the music. Yep. Yep, the game for today's stream is Ever 17, The Out of Infinity. Actually, and turn that up a bit. Turn it up a bit more. Turn it down. Actually, leave it at the settings. So I've got BGM set to 1, but hopefully I can actually drown it out. And yeah, the thing with this is it's an 800 by 600 resolution. So while you're actually seeing that over there in 720p or 720p 30, all I'm seeing is a little window. So, well, let's get this started. He was in the middle of a blue world. As far as the eye could see, a sheet of water reached into the distance. The May sun shimmered on its surface. Above, high above, stretched a clear blue sky. Hang on. File menu. Ah, there we go. There we go. Turn the BGMs down to 2, so they're not drowning me out. Well, drowning my ears out. Above, high above, stretched a clear blue sky. The fresh, new sky looked so glossy and vivid that it might spill down to earth at any moment. That was all that was reflected in his eyes. The straight line of the horizon stretched into the distance, dividing the sea from the heavens. he muttered. A solitary seagull traced a gentle arc in the sky as the wind carried it away. The wind, full of the smell of the ocean, blew by him gently. The din of people could be heard in the background. The merry sound of children's voices echoed brighter than the sunlight pouring down.
平和だよな。
It was like being inside a dream. "10 miles from M Island, Kamagahara Archipelago, Tokyo. The man-made island, Insel Null, rose above the waves of water. It seemed like a place removed from reality. The word utopia might have sprung to mind to describe it. Actually, a slab of rock on the boat dock of this floating island would carve the following words: Where is heaven? Above the sky and at your feet. Leaning out over the railings of the island, he gazed into the ocean depths. Into the blue distance, he saw a massive metallic structure swaying gently.
楽園か。
He mumbled and looked back casually. Right, hang on. I'm gonna have to make some more adjustments. Even at 1, that is really getting up, but at least it's not peaking around halfway while I'm going into the red, so... And there was a tanuki, or a raccoon dog. His eyes met those of the animal. For a moment, they eyed each other in silence.
どうも。
To clear the air, he nodded his head. The animal turned away, ignoring him. Upon closer inspection, he noticed something biting the animal from behind. It was a young girl. She was shaped like a person. Looking closer revealed that there was something strange about her as well. So, it's a raccoon dog being bitten by a girl being bitten by a dog. Namely, a small tanuki attached to the girl's backside. Oh, it's a tanuki. Doesn't look like one. In front of him were the big tanuki being bit by a girl who's being bit by a smaller tanuki. The scene was enough to make him lose his sense of reality. He rubbed his eyes, rubbed them some more, and opened his eyes again. Even after blinking several times, the bizarre scene refused to go away.
ねえ、この子たち、何とかしてくれない？
Whispered the big tanuki. But the words didn't reach his mind because he was so busy trying to process the absurd scene. Yep. I must be dreaming, right? That was what he was really thinking. A dream. A dream that would not let him wake up. And whiteness. A cold, white reality stretching forever. He felt the difference in temperature on his skin. The shock of it finally forced him to open his eyes. And now we're starting with the second protagonist. He wondered how long he had been sitting. It couldn't have been long. He'd only been in the park an hour. He'd been sitting on the bench the whole time, eating the same ice cream.
冷たい
Of course it was. It had melted to a muddy mess. The melted vanilla ice cream trickled onto his hands, spilling on his lap.
冷たい
The ice cream slowly soaked into the fabric of his pants. Finally, the coldness of it had spread completely, soaking into his skin. He had been sitting there a while. He'd been sitting so long, but the person he was waiting for never came. There was no sign that she would. I wonder why she hasn't come. He didn't know. Why am I here? He felt like he was teetering on the verge of utter confusion.
やれやれ
He shook his head and sighed. It didn't seem his pants would dry any time soon.
どうしたの？
He sensed a slight movement and a girl sat down next to him. She was sporting the theme park uniform, and this is one of the other characters you encounter, and who gets very well known. You'll have fun trying to say her name 5 times when drunk. That's a white outfit with a bluish ribbon. She looked like a guide.
もしかして迷子かな？
A beaming, innocent smile appeared on her shining face.
友達とはぐれちゃったのかな？
ううん待ってるんだ
待ってる？
いや待ってたんだ
待ってた。私を？
違うよ
He was flustered as a grinning face peered into his.
ここで待ってるように言われたから
ふーん。でも待ち人来たらずって感じね。
She gave him a sideways glance.
見るからに待ちぼうけの待ちくたびれな少年。そうだ。
Her face suddenly lit up and she clapped her hands together.
ねえねえ、君一人なんでしょ？
え
退屈してたんじゃない？レミューの中案内してあげようか。
She tugged at his arm. Without waiting for his reply, she made him stand.
でも待ち合わせが
待ち合わせ？誰と？
Who was it? He couldn't think of the name.
まあ、誰だか知らないけど。いつまで経っても来ないなら、もう待たなくてもいいんじゃない？
She said this happily, almost prancing around.
ねえ、行こうよ。
うん
He nodded silently. The girl's name tag glittered brightly against the white fabric of her uniform.
YOU?
That was what it said.
I am you.
Yep. I am you. I'm you. She nodded.
私は田中。下の名前は You。
And unfortunately, they've actually written this more westernized, so what she actually says was her last name and then her given name, but they've written it the other way around.
You?
本当はもっと長い名前なんだけどね。
Yep, her real name is much longer.
長い
そう、果てしなく長い名前。だけど、めんどくさいから You でいいよ。
It's such a pain. Because her family name is Tanaka. And according to the print in the manual, that is kind of common in Japan. With that, she enthusiastically stuck out her hand.
よろしく。
Without thinking, he shook her hand, and before he'd realized it, he'd been sucked along into her rhythm.
じゃあ行こっか。
They released hands reluctantly. He looked again at his hand, which had a moment before connected them. The mineralized clean that had soiled on it had completely melted away. Right. He noticed that the two Tanuki had formed a line and were proceeding forward. In front of them was a massive gate that was sealed shut. The gate swung open soundlessly, and the big Tanuki, little Tanuki, and the girl went inside. Finally, my turn. He followed on their heels. This was Lemu's only entrance for visitors. Several park employees waited at the gate and handed over what looked like earphones to the visitors. It seemed that the earphones were to be used at some point up ahead. He wondered why. Looking around skeptically but obeying instructions, he stepped into the building. He surveyed the ceiling. There were no windows from the polished round walls. It was clear that the room was dome-shaped. Yeah. He looked around. Many of the visitors who had been waiting in line headed into the room. Among them were friends, amorous couples, people with their families. The Tanuki family had, however, split up it seemed. The big Tanuki shoved its way through the crowd of people and continued through a door on the other side of the room. The young girls stayed on the same side of the room as the little Tanuki. I got no clue who those Tanuki are all about, but guess my friends aren't here either. He didn't see any familiar faces around. He figured maybe they'd already taken the fire elevator downstairs. Just 20 minutes earlier, the visitor room had reached capacity, and the friends he had been waiting with had gone ahead, leaving him behind to go down with the next group. Oh well, I'm sure I'll find everyone down below soon enough. Finally, the gate to the entrance slipped shut quietly. The big Tanuki fiddled with something on the wall, and the room got a shade darker.
皆さん、どうもこんにちは。
A park employee emerged out of the darkness. He wondered where she had come from. She was wearing a flashy dress. The dim light shining on her made her seem like a character from some dream.
あれ？反応がないですね。もう一度行きますよ。こんにちは。こんにちは。
It was the girl who, just a little while ago, had been attached to the rear of the large Tanuki.
あ、元気のいい女の子発見。お名前は？ こっちが愛犬のピピ。
So it isn't a Tanuki, it's a dog. Actually, I didn't actually say it was a dog to begin with. So, yeah. I thought they didn't let pets in here. He tilted his head doubtfully.
ココちゃんはレミューに来たのは何回目かな？1、2、3、4、5？ 今回が初めて。
She does all that counting, and she says it's her first time.
面白い子ね。よく言われます。ついでだからもっと面白いことやってあげよっか。え？最近ね、友達から超ウケるコメッチを教わったの。それはまた今度ね。どうして？これから皆さんにお伝えしなくちゃいけないことがあるの。そっか。ほいじゃあしょうがないよね。でも本当に面白いのにな。残念だね、ピッピン。では改めまして、この度は海洋テーマパークレミューにご来場くださいまして誠にありがとうございます。これから皆さんにこのテーマパークレミューのご説明と少しだけ注意事項をお知らせいたします。そんなのどうでもいいから早く中に入れてよ。
She's very impatient, isn't she?
私ももちろんすぐにでも皆さんをご案内したいのですが、申し訳ありません。実はどうしても皆さんにはこの加圧室に留まっていただく必要があるのです。たった17分間だけです。その間だけどうかお付き合いください。まずこの部屋についてですが、ここは加圧室と申します。これからこの中の空気圧を6気圧まで加圧します。なぜ気圧を上げなければならないのか、理由は後でご説明するとして、その前にひとまず注意事項をお伝えいたします。これから気圧の上昇に伴い、皆さんは耳に違和感をお感じになると思います。高い山の上から降りてきた時と同じように気圧が鼓膜を圧迫するからです。ですから耳がちょっと変だなと思われた時には、指で鼻をつまみ口をしっかりと閉じて耳抜きをするようにしてください。それでも耳が治らない場合や体調が悪くなってしまわれた場合には手を挙げて知らせてくださいね。その時にはすぐに加圧を停止します。ところで耳抜きのやり方がわからない方いらっしゃいませんか？よろしいでしょうか？では加圧を始めましょう。加圧時間は先ほども申し上げましたように17分間です。その間に皆さんにレミューの構造についてご説明いたします。皆さんもご存知の通り、レミューは海の中に浮かんでいます。水深17メートルから51メートルの海の中に。さて、図をご覧いただければお分かりになるように、これらは4つの層に分かれた構造をしています。上から順にインゼルヌル、エルストボーデン、ツバイトシュトック、ドリットシュトックと呼ばれていますが、一般的に言われるグランドフロアから地下3階までのことだとお考えいただいて結構です。インゼルヌルとはここ浮島のことです。洋上に浮かんだ巨大な人工島。インゼルは島、ヌルはゼロという意味のドイツ語です。つまりここは地上階、ゼロフロアということになりますね。次にエルストからドリットについてですが、
Just then.
ねえってば。
As he was listening to the explanation, someone pulled on him from behind. He turned to look around. It was a girl who had just been talking with the park staff. What was her name again?
ねえ、ココのコメッチョ、気にならない？
Oh, that's right. Her name was Coco. And that animal she's holding is Pepe, or Popo, or something.
気になるでしょ？
え、何が？
さっき言おうとしたコメッチョのことだよ。
コメッチョ？
知らないの？最近流行ってるっしょ？
知らないな、そんなの。なんだそれ？
アメリカンジョークのことだってば。コメッチョコメッチョ。
ふん。
気になるでしょ？教えてほしいでしょ？
Okay. So we finally reached our first choice of the night. So we can either listen to a joke, or we can continue to listen to the explanation. Since I'm probably not going to end up getting any response from chat. Let's listen to the
気に
joke.
なるかも。
オッケー、じゃあ教えてあげよう。昔、ある男が死んだおじいさんの幽霊に向かってこんなことを尋ねたんだ。
So once there was this guy who was talking to the ghost of his dead grandfather. So he asked him a question.
100万年と言ったら幽霊にとってどれぐらいの時間なんでしょうか？
How long is a million years to a ghost? He wanted to know.
すると幽霊はこう答えた。
And the ghost answered,
100万年と言ったらわしにとっては1秒みたいなもんだよ。
A million years is like a second to me.
次に男はこんなことを尋ねた。幽霊にとって100万ドルってのはどんなもんなんでしょうか？幽霊は答えた。100万ドル。それは人間の価値で言えば1セントと同じようなものじゃ。その答えを聞いて男はニヤニヤと愛想笑いを浮かべながら、おじいさん、ならばあなたの1セントを私に1ついただけないでしょうかってね。幽霊は微笑みながらこう言った。ああ、もちろんいいとも。すぐにでもやろう。だが1秒だけ待ってくれないかな。
I don't get it.
どう？とびっきり生かしたジョークでしょ？ところで、この加圧室に入る前に皆さんにイヤホンのようなものをお配りしましたよね。
Thank God for the park staff to Yeah, I got nothing on that.
はい、そうです。今皆さんが耳に装着されているそのイヤホンです。
Yeah, 'cause I think the first time I actually played this ages ago, I actually bypassed that joke.
これはただのイヤホンではなく、音声変換器と言います。
Yep. Voice alternators. And the reason why that is because this
この変換
that
器
whole
を耳につけていないとアヒルのような声に聞こえてしまうのです。
yeah, because the whole room that I'm actually standing in is full of helium. You removed his voice alternator to see what would happen. It's true, people really do sound like ducks. Then again, maybe they sound more like aliens than ducks. The voice of the people around him jumped to a strange higher tone.
なあ、なんか喋ってみてくれよ。なんだよその声、すげえ笑える。
Coco hadn't been listening to the explanation.
そうだ、さっきのコメッチョ、もう一回聞かせてくれないか。
どうして？
いいからいいから。
昔、ある男が死んだおじいさんの幽霊に向かってこんなことを尋ねたんだ。
Hang on. Ugh. Oh, lovely. And Twitch is being stupid. Excuse me while I F5. Thank you very much. Thank God for Streamlabs chatbot.
100万年と言ったら幽霊にとってどれぐらいの時間なんでしょうか。すると幽霊はこう答えた。変なの？さっきはちっとも笑わなかったくせに。
He put the voice alternators back into his ears and looked back at the staffer again.
さあ、説明はこれで終わりです。あと1分ほどでこの部屋の脇にあるドアが開きます。ドアの向こうはエレベーターになっていますので、下降すればその先には素晴らしい楽園が広がっています。
Oh, the good thing is there hasn't been any noticeable drop in frames.
海洋テーマパークレミューを心ゆくまでお楽しみください。
さて、それじゃ行くか。
Just as he headed for the elevator.
ところで、ねえ、一人で来たの？
ああ、俺？いや、友達とはぐれちゃってさ。
迷子なんだ。
ちょっと違うけど、まあ似たようなもんかな。エレベーターを降りたら、そこら辺歩いて探してみるよ。
さっきの係の人に相談してみたら？
お、それもそうだな。ちょっとすいません。
Looking back, he saw that the employee had already disappeared.
じゃあ君、一人でレミューに来たんだ。
Yeah, and she does that a lot.
そうだよ。
それにしてもさ。
After bending down to wipe away the white stain on his pants, you stood up.
珍しいよね。男一人で遊びに来るなんてさ。
That was true. It was a paradise, an amusement park. In that instant, he had almost forgotten even that.
でも、どうして連れの人と一緒に入場しなかったの？わざわざレミューの中で待ち合わせなんて。
それは。
Now that she mentions it, who had set to wait on that bench? Whose idea was it anyway?
まあよい。わけは聞かないでおいてあげよ
う。Who was it?
しかしあれだ。要するに君は振られちゃったみたいだね。
振られた？
Stood up? It took a moment for the meaning of the word to register.
図星だったのかな。ごめんなさい。
She shrugged silently, embarrassed.
まあまあ、そう落ち込みなさんだ。
She changed modes abruptly and let out a hearty laugh. She slapped him solidly on the back.
私がとことん面倒見てあげるからさ。ね。
うん。
He nodded, a bit overwhelmed. So? I was stood up. I must have been dumped. Huh? Then again, he wasn't sure exactly what had happened.
でもさ、
何？
ユウは今仕事中じゃなかったの？
固いこと言わないの。
No matter how many times he checked, she was definitely still wearing a limo uniform.
暇だったし、ちょうどよかったのよ。
They got in an egg-like elevator together. The egg slowly began to move. It felt like they were slowly floating up.
上に参ります。
She whispered mischievously. The elevator was terribly crowded, and everyone was packed in like sardines.
ちょっと暑いね。
うん。
Her face was so close he almost bumped into it. Their bodies were flush against each other. She was soft and warm. He was surprised. All of a sudden, he felt embarrassed and started to squirm.
ちょっと少年。変なとこ触らないでよ。
She whispered into his ear, puffing out her cheeks. Crammed in the elevator, he couldn't even move an inch.
すぐったい。あんまり動かないで。
そんなこと言われても息ができないんだ。
He couldn't move, but he couldn't bear standing still either. As he gasped for breath, he noticed her light perfume. Finally, the egg arrived at the top floor and his suffering was over.
あ、
He let out a cry and bolted from the elevator.
どうしたのいきなり。待ってよ少年。少年。
He sprinted away, leaving you far behind. It wasn't that he was trying to escape from her. He'd seen something. At the edge of his vision, he thought he'd seen someone. Up ahead, that someone was still visible. He chased after whoever it was like a man possessed. I've seen that face before. I'm sure I've seen that face before. That was what his instincts were telling him. But where had he seen them? He tried to sort through his foggy memory. As he sifted, he kept running forward.
待って。
He felt a desperate need to meet the person, but he had to hurry. Eventually, he ran out of breath. Holding his pounding chest, he looked up. There she was! Mixed amongst the other people was a girl standing. He was sure that was the person he had been searching for was this girl. Yep, and typing errors. It was in the middle of the holidays, but for some reason she was wearing her school uniform. He wondered why she was alone here. Oh yeah, I've got to talk to her. She was by herself. She was all alone, just like him. What should I say? Where should I start? Let's see. He needs to calm down and focus. Why is it I have to talk to her? Why in the world? Who was she? Who was she? She's... Oops! He was caught up in a wave of people. He got pushed into an elevator. It started to rise towards the surface. 51 feet below sea level, the elevator stopped at basement floor 1. He got off the elevator as if he were being spit out. This floor was called Boden. He glanced around at his surroundings. She wasn't anywhere to be seen. He thought they had both ridden on the elevator together, but he had apparently lost sight of her in the crowd when he got off. I lost her. He hadn't even been able to say a word. He felt really depressed. Maybe. Did she call out to me? The idea suddenly popped into his head.
なんだろうこの感じ
His heart was still beating furiously.
どうかされましたか、お客様。
Yep, and here's the staff member again. A uniformed staff member, different than you, was talking to him.
どなたかお探しですか？
She gave him a warm smile as she said this.
そうです
Feeling that he seemed a little desperate, he quickly blurted out an answer.
人を探しているんです待ち合わせをしててでも会えなくて
どんな方です？お名前は？
それはちょっとそこにいるやつ
Patter, patter, patter. Suddenly the sounds of footsteps came rushing at him.
僕のことあ、そうだ
Running feet, brake The guy was out of breath.
実は聞きたいことがあるは
Surprised, he slowly opened his mouth.
なあ知らないか
There's nothing to do but see where the conversation went. Oh, and we're now doing this from Takeshi's perspective. So this is the kid.
いきなりですまないけど知らないかなここら辺にいなかったかな俺の知り合いなんだけど一人は身長 5.1 フィート体重17かサングラスが似合ってない手は遅いが足は速くて3枚目
One of them is 5'1", about 140 pounds. Kind of good looking with dorky sunglasses and probably not the type girls would go for.
もう一人はスーツで丸刈りネクタイなし耳にピアスが3つ鼻に1つ趣味は編み物そして最後はこう言って派手なフリルのたくさんついた地味な花柄ワンピースというどこにでもいそうな3人組なんだけど見なかったいいえ
Young kid shook his head.
そっか悪いね呼び止めちゃって
Waving slightly, he left. The youth continued down the corridor ahead. A girl came over to him and started talking to him enthusiastically. Oh, and it's Coco again! He thought he had seen her before. Huh? Wonder if she knows that kid. But a troubled expression appeared on his face. Yep, it's that joke again!
君誰
So that's it. She was probably one of those kind of people that would talk to anyone about anything, anywhere, whether you were interested or not. He thought he would go down below. The elevator arrived soundlessly and swallowed the waiting patrons. He went with them further into the depths of Lemu. He walked around aimlessly. The attractions were all packed with visitors. Everyone had beaming smiles and yelled happily, all evidence of Lemu's popularity. But still, wandering around a packed and lively amusement park all alone was a bit tortuous. He couldn't help trudging around with heavy feet and slumped shoulders. He was on the verge of looking depressed, but held his expression in check.
しかし参ったね
Walking around in this place blindly, he thought he might never run into his friends. The floor was a lot wider than he'd imagined.
ああそうだ携帯
He took his PDA multi-purpose communication device from his pocket. He pushed a button. He didn't have any messages. No mail either. But the problem seemed to be... it was out of range. At least that was what the display said.
マジですかこのご時世に県外とは
Then he recalled they'd said something about this being a giant tunnel in the middle of the ocean where only select radio waves could reach, and that Lemieux used special electronic equipment that wasn't very compatible with mobile equipment. More than anything, they didn't allow PDAs to work inside, so the facility would be completely separated from the world above, as part of the attraction. At least that's what they told him at the entrance, but he hadn't listened to a word of it. Maybe I should get them to broadcast a message over the intercom. He thought it might be best just to ask a staff member. He decided to look for one, but there wasn't a uniformed person in sight. There weren't many people walking around the corridors either. He turned the corridor and entered a completely different corridor. I turned a corner and entered a completely different corridor. Yeah, me in English, not doing very well so far. There, right in front of him, was the giant Tanuki. Yep. Errors in the script was the one he'd seen at the gate coming in. Tanuki was operating a panel on the wall. I bet that's a Lemieux employee. Thinking it perfect timing, he sailed up to the Tanuki and called out.
すいません人を探しているんです知り合いですアナウンスで呼び出してほしいんだけど名前は
The Tanuki slowly turned around and looked at him. But it didn't say anything.
もしもし
Tanuki turned away, avoiding him. He was being ignored. I wonder if it didn't hear me. The Tanuki was wearing a big stuffed suit and was a full head taller than him. There was a definite possibility that his words weren't even reaching the ears inside.
もしもし聞こえてますか
He asked a question as nicely as he poked the Tanuki in the ribs.
ちょっと贅肉が多いんじゃないかあんた
He continued talking as he pinched, pulled, and released Tanuki's flank. He thought that for a mascot suit, the Tanuki shot him a pretty realistic glare before it turned to walk away. Upset at that, he grabbed the Tanuki's shoulder.
おいお客が困ってるのにその態度はないんじゃない
Oh dear. He'd been gut punched. Yep, it's a knockout. The Tanuki had actually slugged him. Not even his parents had ever even really spanked him before. It had been a totally cheap shot. The Tanuki had landed a solid uppercut.
こらタヌキお前だ
He went down to his knees and keeled over. Nearby visitors reacted.
お客様どうしました
Just then, a park employee appeared from the door.
お腹でも痛いんですか
Okay, and another choice. Let's go all in.
俺にボディーブローを
The employee gave him a surprised look.
殴られたんだよいきなりあのタヌキに
He pointed at the big Tanuki. Tanuki's expression didn't change, but it turned and started to run. The Tanuki silhouette pranced lightly away into the distance, and in an instant it had disappeared down the walkway.
ああ、あれはですね。
The staffer looked after Tanuki as he spoke.
タヌキじゃなくてレミュール。
レミュール
He rubbed his still aching stomach as he spoke.
そう、レミュール。キツネザル。名前はミュミューン。
Lemieux had been named after the continent of Lemuria, a legendary land. According to the British zoologist, see the existence of the ocean scattered throughout the Indian Ocean. Lemurs are scattered throughout Africa, the islands of Madagascar, Asia and Indonesia. While investigating the distribution of these fox monkeys, Shelter came to believe a continent had existed on the Indian Ocean, adopting the British geologist Branford's hypothesis. He named the continent Lemuria. Moreover, the German zoologist Haeckel, yep, me and German, not gonna go well either, contended that this continent was the origin of mankind.
あの着ぐるみはレミューンのマスコットキャラの一つ。で、どうしたんですか？お腹が悪いんですか？それとも。
いや、もういい。もういいんだ。もう済んだから。
ああ、そうですか。
The staff had disappeared. I see. That wasn't a Tanuki. That was Mumian. He wasn't sure why Mumian had hauled off and punched him, but he knew that wondering about it wouldn't help, so he decided to forget about it. He needed to be getting somewhere.
もう少し自力で探してみるか。
He muttered this as he composed himself. He knew that there should be several attractions at the other end of this corridor. His friends might have been looking for him as they waited in line.
で、どっちに行きゃいいんだ？
His legs were so tired that he could barely move. This is the world's worst theme park. And that was exactly how he felt. And we're transferring back to the kid. Hit by a slight dizzy spell, he leaned against the wall.
なんなんだ、一体。
He sighed. He was fully and utterly beat. The staff that had just been talking to had vanished somewhere. Yu wasn't around either. He had lost sight of the other girl as well. He was alone again.
ここに何しに来たんだっけ、僕は。
He thought that maybe he should have waited where he was before, after all. Having lost his destination, he rode the elevator from the aquarium and returned to the basement floor 2. Basement floor 2, Zoita stock. The second floor. I screwed up. The rest area is down one more level. He felt like he had come a long way from the elevator room. He didn't know which path he should take to go down. Which way?
ちょっとこっちに来てくれない？
A voice called to him from somewhere. From somewhere. From the shadows of the path, the owner of the voice was beckoning to him. But the hand did not belong to a human.
ほら、早く来てよ。
It was the whispering voice of a young woman. Her bulky black arm was swaying rhythmically. Disturbed by the difference between the voice and the owner's appearance, he moved hypnotized in its direction. The hand and arm clearly belonged to a Tanuki. It was a big Tanuki.
ここ
どこだかわかる？
He was led by Tanuki into a room at the end of the walkway. Or rather, packed into it.
ここは
Is this the girls' changing room? He saw a uniform like the one you had been wearing packed away inside an open locker. Hey, I even see some woman's underwear! The room smelled like perfume. The air was saturated with a scent so strong it almost made him choke. The smell was about to overwhelm him. He struggled to get his mind under control and maintain his focus.
ねえ、ここどこだかわかる？
Tanuki asked the same question again. Come to think of it, why was she a Tanuki anyway? He had no clue.
ここは
更衣室。
She said this before she could answer.
更衣室っていうのは内緒の行為をするところ。
She said this quietly.
行為
Wham! Suddenly his vision faded. Everything went completely dark.
え？それ預かっておいてくれる？
Look after? He didn't understand.
ほら、ちゃんと着せてあげるから。
Wear it? He had no idea what she was talking about. He didn't understand why, but he couldn't move. He was powerless to resist her and let her do what she wanted. In a moment, something completely covered his body.
これでよし。じゃあ、あとはお願いね。
And the light sound of her footsteps faded into the distance. The last thing he heard was the click of a door shutting. He heard a sound, but he did not see her leave. What did she do to me? His face felt heavy. His body felt heavy. He had tunnel vision. And for some reason, his body was bristling with hair. Could it be that this is the mascot's outfit? When he shook his head, it made a sound like bristles brushing something. And there was a smell. There was some other scent from inside the costume. A sweet smell that made him dizzy. It pierced deep into his brain. Before he knew what was going on, he had opened the door and was shuffling out into the pathway. Without thinking, he let out a cry. He had found it! It's that Tanuki! He had been told it was not a Tanuki, but Mew, or a fox-like monkey, but that information had already disappeared from his mind. I forgot its name. It doesn't matter though. He's the one that hit me and ran away. He didn't want revenge, but he did want to ask it why it had done what it did. Without making a sound, he slowly approached the Tanuki mascot, Mew. And as soon as he got behind it, he quickly grabbed the costume by the head. There!
誰？お前こそ誰だ？いきなりあんなことしやがって。え、あんなことってしらばっくれるな。何のことだかわからないよ。お前だろう、俺を殴ったのは。違うよ、違う。知らない。嘘つけ、忘れたのか？
Yep, and this is the reason why she put the kid into the suit.
嘘じゃない。女の人が突然この着ぐるみを渡してきて。あれ、お前そういやさっき会ったっけ？いつの間に着替えたんだ？今来たばっかりだよ、僕は。今来たばっかり？おい、何言ってるんだ？だけど、どうしてこんな。
At that point, the Tanuki collapsed. He collapsed in full Mew regalia.
どうした？おい。
Takeshi shook his shoulders, but there was no response.
誰か来てくれ。なんだか様子がおかしい。
yelled. Visitors watch from a distance.
どうしました？
A female employee had heard the fuss and came running.
あんたさっきのちょっとこいつ急に倒れて。
ちょっと見せて。
The employee took the pulse of the fallen youth. Takeshi wondered if she had any medical knowledge.
大丈夫。だけどこのままにはしておけないね。
手伝うよ。
ええ、お願い。
Why had this happened? He had no idea where he was, where he had gone. Shaking, shaken, feeling ill. He could feel hair from the costume rubbing along both of his sides as two people carried him. Rubbing. He wished they'd get the mascot suit off him quickly. The fur felt nasty. It was hot. So hot. So hot he couldn't stand it. The heat made him feel faint. His consciousness felt like it would drift away. Why had this happened? It was strange. So strange. It wasn't him or her. He heard a different voice from somewhere. He had been hauled to the infirmary.
でもなんだろう。貧血？
着ぐるみが熱かったんじゃないか？着慣れないみたいだったから。
ありえるね。熱射病かな。
なんとかなりそうか。
うん。重い病気じゃなさそうだし、しばらく休ませておけば大丈夫だよ。
そっか。
ありがとう、手伝ってくれて。あとは私が見るから。
それじゃあ頼むよ。
He opened the sliding door and left the room.
人助けか。俺はここに何しに来たんだっけな。
A cool breeze was blowing down the walkway. Breeze. But where was it coming from? He wondered where he had come from. He saw something faintly. A ceiling! Sheets! A bed. He had been put to sleep on a bed. On a bed in the infirmary. He saw something again. Below the sick room bed. Who was on the bed below? Who was this? This isn't me. Of course not. He decided to go further down the hall. The third floor underground, they called it the Delight Stock. The guys, they're gonna be lined up waiting for a crowded ride somewhere.
すいません、乗ります。
He dashed into the elevator. The doors reopened silently and closed again. One other person had gotten on. A girl. A girl? More like a young woman, I guess. One girl had gotten on. She was about high school age. The elevator floated upwards in an instant before descending. There was a faint sound of movement and vibration. And then his eyes met with the girl's. He wondered why. The girl stared at him suspiciously.
何なのあなた。どうしてこんなところにいるの？なんでついてくるのよ。
Apologize? Just who exactly are you? Or stay silent?
お前こそ何なんだ。俺が何かしたか？
したわ、さっき。
さっき？
He was getting more and more confused.
つまり、あんまり邪魔をしてほしくない。だから。
邪魔って何を？
Jolting suddenly, the elevator stopped. He looked at the ceiling. The lights flickered unsteadily.
なんだ？
Yep, all hell is about to break loose.
まさか。
まさか？まさか何なんだよ？
Couldn't be. He wondered if something had gone terribly wrong. It was strange. Very strange. Who's this? Oh, it's her. We finally met. I've been looking for you this whole time. But his voice didn't reach her. He couldn't hear her voice either, no matter how much he tried. No sounds reached him now. Damn, what's going on? But he saw a figure faintly. He was able to make sure he could see himself and the girl talking over there. He saw it on the other side. I can see myself over there. He watched, and he watched. That's strange. No, it's odd. If I'm watching them, then who is the me watching me? Something felt out of place. Now he knew the truth and his lips trembled. Who is that? Who could the me over there be? He couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. It was like a dream. It was like he was watching the continuation of a dream. But the dream couldn't have felt so powerfully raw. All of the screaming, all of the and the sound of running feet, the shrill wailing of sirens. That wasn't a dream or an illusion.
まさかって何を知ってる？
何も知らない。あなたは何を知ってるの？
知るわけないだろ。
The lights gradually dimmed and finally went out. Why? He had no idea. He didn't know. There was no way he could know. But there on the bed, there, on the bed, there. The bed below, the bed on top, the bed below. Who are you? Who? Stop. Please stop. Don't come out. Please don't come out. No, there was nothing to fear. It was alright. Because there was no longer anyone. Because there was no one there.
おい、誰かいないのか？俺はここだ。ここにまだいるんだ。誰か出してくれよ。返事をしてくれ。誰かいませんか？
Nobody answered. The surroundings were filled with silence.
なんだ、誰もいないのか。一人か。
He burst with laughter, the ultimate feeling of liberation. There was no one to restrain him now. And he ran, but no one stopped him. Getting there was easy. All that was left was to aim for the center. Just take a step. It was simple. He threw his body into the water. He sank. deeper and deeper. Sound died away. The embrace of unbelievably pure silence. Not even a beam of light pierced the darkness. All he could hear was repetitive heavy breathing. He lost himself, mind short-circuiting. His vision narrowed and was overrun with blue. Deep blue. Blue. Something was strange. He wondered if it really was blue. Even though he was perfectly still, it seemed as if his heart was racing. Sweat poured off of him. His breathing was ragged and labored. Gradually, his consciousness dissolved into the darkness. Black. Endless black. There was no mistaking it this time. Everything was stained black. There were no boundaries to this colour. And we are actually bouncing between Takeshi and the kid. Because we are back with, if I remember, we are back with Takeshi. His ears hurt, the ringing in them wouldn't stop. He felt pressure expanding in his lungs. He felt queasy, sick to his stomach.
気圧が低下してる。
I forgot, I need to pop my ears. With a pop, the air building inside his ears was released.
出口はどっちだ？
Pitch black. Nothing moved. He didn't move either. There wasn't any sign of a breeze. He didn't hear anything. Just echoes from something invisible. Time froze to a stop. If he stopped here, he felt like he would forget that he was even alive. It was his intuition. Only a little more. No. It was no good. He had to get out, but he didn't even know which direction to go. He had to get himself out of this darkness. Had to... But what could he do? What could... He didn't know. He didn't know. Just then, he felt a faint, warm light. Light. A blade of light slicing through the flat world of darkness. And he knew. The direction was over there. And that there might be a way out. If he could get over there... Right. So, this is actually the branching point where we choose the character that we will remain with until we finish the set path. So, I could either say, I've got to find my friends, which puts us in Takeshi's shoes for the rest of the story, or who am I, which is the kid. And I've actually started these before, but I haven't completed. So what I'm going to do is start with Takeshi. I've got to find them. I quietly open the door. I turn the knob and the door to the elevator opens slowly.
System Wiederaufnahme.
I heard the mechanical announcement but didn't understand what it meant. The battery is probably dead. I pushed the buttons but my PDA didn't respond. Thanks to the help of the backlight of my display, I had found the emergency manual opening mechanism for the door. Hey, are you alive? I spoke to the girl.
ええ。
She looked a little tired. The floor was silent. I heard the sound of water flowing somewhere. It was a muffled sound, but there was no sign of anyone around. What's going on here?
さあね。
Let's go see if we can find anyone else. Looks like there's no voice scripting for Takeshi now. We went into the corridor. Most of the doors were locked as if to keep us from intruding. We found a floor directory, so we decided to look around the rooms listed on it. We came out to an open space. It was called the rest area. On the floor, there was scattered a mess of bags, a pair of shoes, wrapping paper from the souvenir shop, and other stuff. As I'd expected, there was no one there. There was a fixed set of shutters in the circular space in the center of the area. I laughed an empty laugh. I wonder if this area is under construction. That's probably why no one's here. Yeah, I bet that's why. Let's try the next place. We continued down the path we had been walking. The door down the corridor was shut firmly. Doesn't this door open?
無理じゃない。スイッチもないみたいだし。
We chose a corridor that was open and walked slowly down it. We didn't come across anyone. It felt like we were walking a route that someone had set up for us. A door on the side of the corridor had been left open as we went in. There was a stand selling tuna sandwiches. It smelled like they had been cooked until recently. Hey mister, I'll take 2 of the sandwiches at a half price on weekdays. If only someone were here. Looks like he ran off and left his stand. Doesn't he have any pride? Huh? There aren't any other customers here. It isn't exactly booming, is it? I'm hungry. I wasted too much energy walking around. And my friends take off somewhere without telling me. Don't you think that's rude?
別に。あなたのことはどうでもいい。
Okay, whatever you say. We returned to the corridor we'd come from, turned at an intersection and looked for other rooms. Everywhere looked the same. I wonder if anyone is hiding somewhere. Maybe they're trying to surprise us.
なぜ？どうしてそう思うの？
Well, it's just kind of a feeling. I had to speak to stay calm. I felt like if I went quiet, I would return to the darkness of before. In the room we next went in, ruins were awaiting us. Lemurian ruins. They were filled with silence. If it weren't for the paper garbage strewn across the floor, it would have been hard to believe that anyone had been around. Where is everybody? Hey! Give me a break here. Where did everybody go? There is a limit to how far you can take a joke. Why didn't anyone come out? I sank to the floor. I didn't know why, but I was having trouble breathing. Against my will, I started to sweat. What do you think? What do you think? What happened here? Why haven't we seen anyone?
さあ、確かなことは一つだけ。
She said this without changing the expression on her face.
ただごとじゃない。このままだとすごく危険。そうでしょ？
She stared at me with calm eyes. I thought I heard a low groan from somewhere. I swallowed nervously. I nodded uncomfortably. The next instant, the girl dashed to the other side of the corridor. I quickly stood up and followed her. I was exhausted, but I used every ounce of my power to push ahead. We jumped into a small entrance on the side of the corridor. We headed up. We started climbing upstairs at top speed. We ignored our pounding hearts. We simply ran. We ran without looking back. We ran. We reached the top floor and I put my hand on the emergency hatch connecting to the floating island. The knob didn't budge. Damn, why won't it open? The whole structure rocked. The hatch gave off a squeaking sound and the knob bent unnaturally. The girl screamed. We rushed back to the stairs again. We had no time to go down each step. We jumped down towards the direction where we could see the corridor. The impact with the ground rattled my knees terribly, but I ignored the pain. I was out of breath. I gasped. Safe place. The girl's expression didn't change. Anyway, she hadn't lost her breath much after running. English. Hey, don't you want to rest? I want to
どう
rest.
ぞご勝手に
Fine then. I sat on the floor. The girl walked slowly ahead down the corridor. You could see hundreds of colourful fish swimming comfortably outside the windows. Actually, I think what I am going to do is gonna go into the save menu. Yeah, because we can. So we could save and I think we will actually end here. So, well, that was an interesting start, and well, as long as I don't have any issues with content ID claims when this is uploaded to YouTube next week, we will be continuing this. If we don't, well, it's gonna go to Tuesdays. So, actually, one moment. Alright, sorry about that. Had to do a quick case of trip to the toilet. Uh, yeah, as I said, if this uploads to YouTube without any content ID claims, we will be continuing this next Friday. But again, I will be back at 11 o'clock, and it's back to Soul Worker with the Stella Unibel playthrough. And of course, on Sunday, we're going back to Chi Arowell. So let's see who is. Yeah, driver's finished. Looks like Renault is not. Renault is not online, so probably no ED Friday. Even though it is a Saturday. Oh, Saturday for me, so yeah. And I know that we should be getting Fabulous Lomax probably in about an hour and a half, but half an hour to an hour and a half's time. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave it here. So, this is the Blighty Otaku signing off. Until next time, I'll catch you laters.